All right, from an injury standpoint, ABT's got the ankle, so he won't participate today. But again, today's a walkthrough, so it's not a huge deal. Michael Carter, the back, continues to be an issue there. Quinton with the hamstring, and then Quincy will be limited just with some overall body soreness, essentially. The stage of the season that we're in, and just normal wear and tear. But he'll be good to go. DJ should be full go today, so we'll see.
And Quinton wouldn't practice.
He's not. Yeah, and today's a walkthrough, so so for that's worth. He's got a hamstring, but as we all know, Quinton is going to fight his butt off to play.
How are Brees and Jaylen doing?
Still collecting information, and in my opinion, Brees is probably far along than Braylon right now.
What did you say the other day? Jaylen had a collarbone?
He did, yeah. He'll go to IR, yeah, unfortunately. Yeah, it was a break, slight fracture. Yes, it did. It's an unfortunate loss, especially as thin as we are, in the safety room.
He had kind of developed into a vocal guy, right?
He had, yeah. It's so rare, as we all know, for a guy to come in here midseason to have that sort of impact. You see guys come in and contribute all the time, but for him to become, the leader that he did, especially amongst the back end, it was pretty cool to see. I know he's been around a lot and he's been experienced, but he was a valuable addition, one that we'll miss for sure.
Tony goes back in that spot.
Yeah, absolutely. And they were all rotating too, so they were all getting play time there.
But what did you see from Sauce? He missed the one game with the injury, but practice Seattle, and then Sunday it seems like his play has picked up.
Yeah, I'd absolutely agree. These past two games have been the best two games of the season, in my opinion, for him. I've just seen a rejuvenated spirit and focus, and he's it's the Sauce that we all love, as far as the way he's been preparing. So and it's resulted into two really back-to-back games. So you just got to keep it going.
Has he had to adjust? It feels like the refs have called him different this year, a little tighter on the holdings. Has he had to adjust in any regard in that?
Yeah, I mean, he would probably tell you the same, that one too many pass interferences, a little too handsy, a little too grabby. So just got to clean up our technique a little bit. Is it different than it's been? I don't know if I could say that. If I really took a hard look at the way they've refereed them and called them in the past, but definitely got to clean up a little bit though, as far as this technique is concerned. There's some of those penalties I think could have definitely been avoided.
You saying these last two were his best games. I guess the obvious follow-up question is, what took so long for him to reach the level that he had established the previous 2 years?
I don't know. I think sometimes, especially at the point of his career he's at, in his mind, because he is so self-motivated and wants to be the best that's playing currently, and he's got the ultimate dream of being one of the best that's ever done it at the corner position. And I think sometimes you get into this mode of, I got to do something different then for that to occur, and I think and it was all in an effort to be the best. It was nothing was trying to cut corners or anything like that, but just getting back to the process that got you where you're at today, and I think that he's found that, and it's a powerful realization, and it'll be something that going forward in his career is going to be huge for him. Just understanding there's a process you've created, commit to that, and good things will happen. You don't have to make things up at all.
What's the challenge your secondary is going to have against these receivers this weekend?
Yeah, it's a challenge in a lot of ways. It's a challenge just from a pure cat coverage standpoint. You got 3-4 really good receivers that can separate, get open, understand football at a high level, and then they got the hands and the quarterback to make you pay when they do get open. On top of that, you have a coach in Sean McVay that is, if he's not the best, he's one of the best for sure from a schematic standpoint. He'll deep dive into our defense and the rules within our defense, and he'll put those rules in conflict, and he'll put them in conflict the entire game. So we're going to have to be elite as far as our details and all the little nuance within our defense, because he's going to test us. We're going to get, when we play man, we're going to get tested just because they're really good players and they know how to beat man. And then when we play zone, our detail has to be impeccable. So it's a test in both ways.
Are you confident at this point that DJ will be able to handle that? Because those two receivers especially. are really good.
I do.
Coming off his injury.
Yeah. DJ to me is tailor-made for these guys, for both of them, because Cooper Kupp and Puka both, in my opinion, they're scrappy, they're tough, they're elite separators in the slot, and they just understand how to challenge leverage, beat your leverage. They know how to separate the top of routes, and to defend that, you need a DB that's got some real grit and toughness and some scrappiness to him, and that's a DJ to a T. So if there's a guy tailor-made for this group, he's that.
What are you seeing from Stafford right now? It just won't fail.
Oh, just one of the top quarterbacks in this league right now, and maybe ever. He's his accuracy, his ability to extend plays, especially when things break down. He's that rare guy that he can go into that mode of high efficiency and just walk you down the field, take what you give him, and then at the same time, the explosive is always a threat because his elite accuracy and understanding of coverage, and then the receivers to get open. So it's going to be maybe our greatest challenge of the year from that standpoint, from a pass game perspective.
What do they do in terms of pre-snap with the motion?
Yeah, it's 2, if not 3 motions every single snap. So there's a couple things. There's 1, trying to undress your coverage and trying to get information for the quarterback. There's 2, trying to just create confusion amongst us, make us communicate. And you got a quarterback that can listen to our communication and take advantage of that. And then 3, when you do say, okay, we got to play man, they're gonna make you chase all over the field. And whereas receivers, as we know, will rotate as they motion them and run us sideways, 100 times a game. Our DBs aren't rotating as much, so they're trying to take advantage of the fatigue factor as well. So motion there's 3 really valuable reasons to utilize it.
When not giving anything away, but when a quarterback is seeing just about every kind of coverage,
Yep.
like Stafford, just what are some just things that you could possibly do to kind of affect them?
Yeah, you gotta keep them off balance. And even at that, it's going to be a great challenge. So there's times where you're going to make everything look exactly the same, and he's got to figure it out post-snap, and there's going to be times where you lie to him pre-snap. So I think it's really a combination of those 2 things, trying to keep him off the mark as best you can. But like you said, when the ball is snapped, he's elite at figuring things out on the run. So at the end of the day, we're going to have to win, and we're going to have to compete, and we're going to have to be we're going to have our best game from a pass game perspective.
On Sauce, back in the spring, we talked about him traveling more. Has he done that this season?
He has, yeah. So he's the vast majority of our games, and it's been a little bit more in a third down capacity and a red zone capacity. He's traveled with some of the best guys, and I think he's done a good job of that. And it's something that we're going to continue to utilize. When you got a guy with such a unique skill set, you got to take advantage of it in that way. So it's a challenge for him, and it's a challenge he embraces. So we got to continue to do it.
I know DJ's coming back, but how much can Stiggers just learn from that experience, just being out there and getting his first start?
Yeah, there is, and I think we all know this. There's nothing better than experience. It doesn't. The practice field is important. It's critical to become the player you need to become. But ultimately, playing on Sundays, there is no replacement for that. So for him to go out there and to have some good plays, cool. But to really have all those keloids and those bad plays, those are important. That's part of the process of becoming a really established pro in this league, especially a guy like Stiggers, he's so far behind when it comes to football experience. He's a guy that he had an abbreviated high school football career, let alone a part-time CFL and controlled league, the whole thing. But saying all that, he's showing me enough that there is some real greatness in him. So if he continues to push and grow and become the player we thought we were getting when we drafted him, he's going to be a special player. And he's got the right mindset and approach, too, which is you cheer for guys like that.
You were saying on Monday how Aaron looks like his old self now that he's healthy from those mid-season injuries. Is there a part of you looking back that wishes maybe he had sat him for a week or 2 at mid-season just so he could heal up and get right faster?
Yeah, it's hard for me to look back on that now because at the time, he's such an elite competitor that it's like what he doesn't get credit for enough is his obligation and his dedication to his teammates. And he wants to be out there, and at the end of the day, he thinks he's the guy that can win the game for us. So saying that, he's a hard guy to sit. He really is.
How have you seen Todd Downing grow in the role as play caller in 2 months?
Yeah, I thought, especially these last 2 weeks, just from an offensive perspective, we're starting to really catch a stride, and part of that is the health of Aaron, but part of that, I think, definitely is Todd getting more comfortable in this role. I know he's been an offensive coordinator in this league, and I know he's called a lot of games, but to get that thrown on you mid-season, it can be challenging, So I definitely feel him the last couple weeks getting into a groove.
Did you get an explanation either on Sunday or from the league? The 4th and 4, they called illegal snap all-star on Tippmann. I don't want to get in trouble, but watching it, I couldn't figure out. Like, I watched it a bunch of times, and you can't. He looks like it normally raises his head if the movie's jerk. Did you get an explanation from them?
I did not. No.
Did you guys send that to the league?
Yes, we did. Yeah.
Everybody good?
All right. Thank you, guys.
You might need stitches on your tongue.
Would the referee use the word?
It was something weird.
Not illegal snap. I thought
No,
Yeah.
he said something strange.
Snap infraction.
Yeah, snap infraction.
Snap infraction.
Yeah.
It was.
I've never heard of my entire life.
Yeah. Well, like they've done that before with